Saudi Arabia and that OPEC Plus cartel sided with Russia to cut global oil production. It's a move that could very well drive up gas prices yet again this winter and give Vladimir Putin more money, meaning leverage, as his invasion falters. Well, now President Biden says he's preparing to take action. CNBC's Kayla Tausche reports the president is planning to announce tomorrow that he's releasing up to 15 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, America's energy stash. We're also learning how the U.S. might retaliate against the Saudis. They're our longtime allies for helping Putin in his time of need. NBC News reports the Biden administration might try to pull back American investment in Saudi Arabia by discouraging American companies from expanding business ties with the Saudis. But there's a risk, of course. U.S. companies could choose not to listen. The Saudi kingdom, after all, has deep pockets. There's a new investigation by the Washington Post out today. It found that retired U.S. generals and admirals have been taking lucrative jobs over the past several years. They're working for the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, as paid consultants. MBS, the same man who ordered a hit squad to murder the Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, according to U.S. intelligence. Let's bring in the author, the article's co-author, the Washington Post investigative reporter, Craig Whitlock. Craig, thanks so much. You had to sue the State Department and branches of the military to get this through the Freedom of Information Act. What was the rationale for those parties keeping it private in the first place?
Well, there wasn't much of a good rationale, Shep. They just didn't want the public to know about it. And it's important to underline that the documents we did obtain as a result of suing the government, these aren't classified records. They're records that a judge decided finally should be made public. And, the government just said this, they didn't think there was much of a public interest in knowing that retired generals and admirals had these high-paying jobs with foreign governments. We, of course, disagree, that the public very much ought to know who these people are working for, what they're doing, how much they're getting paid. But this is the first time anybody's been able to get their arms around how common this practice is over the last several years.
You reported the obvious, that the murder of Jamal Khashoggi and the chopping him up and never find his body didn't stop anything about Saudi Arabia. But all of a sudden, what's the rationale now? Oil is king, I guess.
Well, not just oil is king, but you have to understand the Saudis have a very close defense relationship with the Pentagon, but also with U.S. arms manufacturers. They buy more arms than any other from the United States and any other country in the world. And there's a lot of people who make a lot of money off that. And what we found is you had these retired generals and admirals also working as consultants. And this includes, President Obama's former national security advisor, a former head of the National Security Agency. These are both four-star generals, retired, whose companies have been working for years now. And in fact, one of them, General James Jones, former Marine commandant who worked under President Obama, his business has actually expanded with the Saudi Crown Prince and the Defense Ministry since Jamal Khashoggi was murdered. So, they could have pulled back then, as you reported that the Biden administration might encourage U.S. companies to curtail their operations there. But, in fact, some of them have expanded their business since Khashoggi was killed.
These generals, they have to register and get approval for this kind of work. Quickly, did they? And was there a penalty?
They did. No, and all these generals and other officers, they did the right thing. They got their paperwork through the Pentagon and the State Department. But what we found is actually the Pentagon and the State Department rubber stamp these applications. More than 95% of them get approved. So it really sounds like there's very little oversight over these requests, but it is entirely legal.
Craig Whitlock, a fascinating article up on the website right now at Washington Post. Appreciate it very much, Craig.